I think we good. I think we good. Let's get this started. Let's get this started. I think it cleared. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Y'all know we always gotta start the show off right with the celebrations, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning and tapping in each and every episode. This is the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. This is your first time tuning and tapping in. We're on every Wednesday and every Sunday at 10:30. Thank y'all for showing up and showing that love as we do each and every episode. And again, if this is your first time tapping in, we talk about everything here. We talk about sports, entertainment, social commentary. We have the uncomfortable conversation, but keep it resolution based, respect based, and we have a good time at that at the same time. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. It's been amazing. This is episode 202. So it's a lot of episodes. And again, I want to thank y'all for showing major support to the pod. It means the world to me. And yes, thank you. We got some events coming up. I'm going to save for some other announcements in the show, but it's due to y'all support. It's due to y'all support. We're going to get out and touch the people, this year or the year to come, in at the end of 2025 into 2026. So that's going to be some special announcements coming up regarding that. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So again, I want to thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Hit that all notification bell. Just never know when I'm gonna pop up. I do pop up throughout the week. So again, take advantage of the membership portion of the page as well, because different members do get different access. So make sure you tap in. And I got some of these badge holders, some of these members already in the building. So again, appreciate that love. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Y'all showing major love in the chat. I'm gonna be doing some shout outs in a quick second, but make sure y'all hit them likes, y'all hit them 100s. You hit them likes and hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and we promote love over here. No funny business, just straight love over here. Even if we have critical conversations. So again, make sure y'all hit them 100s and hit them likes. Oh man, we got Rowan Jack in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Man, one of our day ones, one of our loyal, one of our badge holders, man. Shout out to Rowan Jack, major contributor to the pod, man. Thank you for tuning and tapping in, my brother. Make sure again y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. Quick shout out to Winter. We got Winter in the building. We got Culture in the building. We got Ebony in the building. We got King P in the building. We got these are badge holders and day ones in the building. We got Ebony in the building. Tremont in the building. You're we in here, Brody. Oh, the loyal crew. All right. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to see. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Shout out to in the West, in the Wild in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Butter in the building. And of course, my dog, Rowan Jack, man. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, it helps with the engagement in the show. And again, we talk about everything. If this is your first time tuning and tapping in, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. Also, uh, got some new music on the way. Been in the studio working on some new stuff, so I can't wait for y'all to hear it. And some of it has been done for a minute. It's just, giving y'all the right music at the right time. So that's going to be fun as well. A shout out to Just in the build. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you hit them likes. You hit the 100s. Appreciate you tapping in, man. All right, y'all. No further ado. Let's get the show started, man. Again, first segment of the night. Y'all already know popular opinions. And again, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records, where you could go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So make sure you go and tap in as well. Shout out to Alex in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Please don't be a bot. Please don't be weird. This is not the podcast for that, sir. I'm gonna have to hook you up with some exclusive tickets, sir. So please stop. This is not the pod for that. Okay? If you're here to show genuine love, we appreciate it. If you're not and you trolling and you spamming, we're gonna get you out of here. We don't appreciate that, sir. That's little kid behavior. This is grown man business over here. Okay, go play. Shout out to GB in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. All right, y'all. First segment of the night. Again, popular opinions. First question. Roy Jack. What he said about Terry Crews, Roy Jack? All answers are Terry Crews. You stupid, Rowan Jack. You stupid. All right, y'all. First question. Compare your last sexual experience to these movies titles. Compare your last sexual experiences to these movie titles. Number 1, Brown Sugar. Ew. Ew, that's nasty. All right, so number 1, Brown Sugar. Number 2, Die Hard. Number 3, Indecent Proposal. Number 4, Rush Hour. That is funny. Shout out to GB in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in again. KC about to get lucky tonight. Yeah, my Kansas City Chiefs never get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Jaguars got lucky last week. How do a quarterback go back to pass, fall over himself, get back up, and run in for a touchdown? Like that was luck. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, we win the game. We win the game. You know what I'm saying? We title town. We worry about chips over here. You know. But shout out to you for tapping in. You know I'm gonna talk my mess about my Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? But hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you tapping in. 8mm Rush Hour. Oh man, yo! Shout out to JM in the building again. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s again. We are popular opinions. Compare your last sexual experience to these movies titles. Number 1, Brown Sugar. That's nasty. Number 2, Die Hard. Number 3, Indecent Proposal. Number 4, Rush Hour. Obviously, Rush Hour. Yeah, I get what Rush Hour mean. I mean, it was in and out. That's what Rush Hour mean. Brown Sugar. It's not messing with the brown persuasion. It's the brown, like, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all like to play in them parts, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool, but that's wild, you know what I'm saying? Indecent Proposal, that means, you know, brothers is out here sponsoring the booty, you know what I'm saying? Little get a little taste, you know what I'm saying? And Die Hard, you know what I'm saying? Die Hard means you went all in, baby, and you know what I'm saying? And you got what you came to get, and you went out with a good time, you know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm going to choose Die Hard, you know what I mean? Like, pause, but again, I'm going to choose Die Hard out of all of these in the chat. The chat in itself, I'm seeing Rush Hour. The chat is saying Rush Hour. That's hilarious, the chat or Rush Hour. Again, I went with Die Hard, pause. The chat went with Rush Hour. The rest of the world at 47%, over 2,000 people voted on this, went with Indecent Proposal. That's funny. That's funny. For those who don't know what Indecent Proposal mean, again, these are all movie titles. So again, if you ever seen Brown Sugar, it was between two melanated people. They found love through hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But sexually, Brown Sugar is Brown Sugar. That's backdoor activities. You know what I'm saying? Die Hard, that means you You went for the gusto, and you know what I'm saying. You had a good time. Indecent Proposal, you sponsor them cakes, and Rush Hour is you was really in and out. Like it was too pump shorty. You know what I'm saying? So 47% went with Indecent Proposal, which is funny because it's a lot. I've been hearing a lot of sponsoring of the booty lately, and we're gonna get into that later in the show. But I've been hearing that lately. It's been a lot of scholarships being made through the ass smack, so to speak. So I think that's pretty funny that majority of the rest of the world went with Indecent Proposal. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Bougiest TV character on this list. Bougiest TV character on this list. Number one, Tony from Girlfriends. Number two, Whitley from A Different World. Number three, Hillary from Fresh Prince. Number four, Regine from Living Single. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, which one is the bougiest TV character on this list? Number one, Tony from Girlfriends. Number two, Whitley from A Different World. Number three, Hillary from Fresh Prince. Number four, Regine from Living Single. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Again, it helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11. So again, appreciate y'all showing that major love by subscribing. Me personally, I know all these TV characters very well as far as watching the shows. I'm going to say, me personally, I'm going to go with Hillary. I don't remember a scene in A Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Hillary wasn't for real bougie. She was always bougie. She was always about the ultra fly and the ultra sexy, but everything had to be name attached. Like she know Demi, she know Bruce, she know this person, that person. So I'm gonna say Hillary on this list. In the chat, I'm seeing I saw Tony in the chat from Girlfriends. Shout out to Luke in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. We got Ireland in the building, man, or Ireland in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. But so yes, I went with Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The chat went with Tony from Girlfriends. The rest of the world, at 41%, over 4,000 people voted on this, went with Regine from Living Single. That's a shocker to me. Even though Regine was hella bougie, but she was known as Nene from around the way. You know what I'm saying? It's just when she got older, you know what I'm saying, got to Brooklyn, she put on the, you know what I'm saying, she put on that change of pace. And so overall, to me, like I said, I went with who I went, but I don't think Hillary Whitley should have been on this list at all. She was bougie, but she was also hella ghetto, because if y'all really watch A Different World, it was a time when she lost her job and had to become a waitress, and like it was real. You know what I'm saying? She became a teacher and all that. So I'm not going to have Whitley on here. And she was always ready to get it popping as far as, get her knuckle game up. So shout out to the character. Shout out to Francisco in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. We got Brazil in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, we appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Came up with this segment because there's a lot of trash-ass movies in Hollywood. And I got better ideas for a TV series or movie series or a movie. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I would love to see a movie on this boxer. I need another sports movie. I know I love them sports movies. This particular boxer, I remember when I was a kid, and he used to be knocking people out. And, as a kid, you follow the sport, but sometimes you forget about people because you stop seeing them. I want to see a movie. The rest of the world needs to learn his story. Gerald McClellan. This guy at that time, this was like the late 80s, early 90s. He was a problem. Gerald McClellan was a problem. He could knock people out with both hands. And I believe he was like in the super middleweight. he was a real powerful fighter coming up in the ranks at that time. And he was knocking everybody out. And in his last fight, uh, it was like a war type of fight between him and the guy that he was fighting, Nigel Bean, if I'm not mistaken, or Nigel Ben. And it was like a war. Like even Nigel Ben ended up with like a lot, some he needed uh some treatment, some hospital treatment. And leaving that fight, Gerald McClellan left that fight, ended up being paralyzed. But he was such a great fighter, and I think people need to learn and know his story and how great he was as a boxer. And I would love to see the trials and tribulations becoming a great boxer and after, and having to learn how to adjust his life after that. And again, I would just love to see it. He was such an amazing fighter at the time when he was coming up. And again, I would think the world knows his story. He was 31-3 in his time, but he was so good. If you've seen him fight, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when he could knock people out in both hands. So I just think this will be absolutely a slam dunk. Again, it will be a sports movie, rated R, because I need the realness in the movies. And then I will also have this directed by Spike Lee. I think Spike Lee would do an amazing job because Spike Lee does have the ability to connect and make it more personalized than just a sports film. Like in the movie Malcolm X, you really felt Malcolm X as a person and the things that he believed in. It's not just what the things that he stood up for and the monumental events that happened. He made you see him as a person. So I think this would be a great movie for Spike Lee to direct as well. So again, I would love to see a movie. My Hollywood need to ask us a movie or a movie series. I wouldn't mind a movie series neither of the great boxer Gerald McClellan. So that's my Hollywood need to ask us tonight. Again, y'all don't forget to hit them likes and hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. I'm going to give y'all 3 must-see movies that y'all must tap into. It's the 202 episodes, so I'm going to give y'all some fire. Make sure y'all tap into these movies. All right, y'all, first movie of the night. This came out in 1996, directed by John Dale. John Day. This movie is starred by Ray Liotta, Linda Tino, Peter Coyote, Kim Cattrall, David Payer, and Christopher McDonald. This movie is called Unforgettable. This movie is absolutely fire. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but this is a must-see movie. This is about a guy who did work with law enforcement. He came home and his wife was dead. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. Again, I ain't even tell y'all anything. So make sure y'all tap in to see Unforgettable. Second must-see movie came out in 2009, directed by Peter Hames. This movie starred by Michael Douglas, Jesse Metcalf, Amber Tablain, John David Moore, and Orlando Jones. This movie is called Beyond Reasonable Doubt. Fire movie. Fire movie. This movie is about a young reporter who's really trying to make a name for himself. And then in his idea, he gets his friend to help him frame himself to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see Beyond Reasonable Doubt. And my third final must-see movie came out in 1994. This is directed by Steve James. This movie is cast by Arthur A.G., William Gates, Emma Gates, Curtis Gates, Gene Pingator, Sheila A.G., Bo A.G., and Luther Bedford. This movie is called, this is actually a documentary. This documentary is called Hoop Dreams. Fire. This documentary is the birth of all sports documentaries. When this came out at the time, this was unlike something we've ever seen, because this was a documentary that it literally took it took 5 to 6 years to actually do, because they followed these young students from junior high going into high school, their high school career, and showing them a little bit after college, and you basically documenting their life, their home life, and their drive. It's a fire must-see documentary, so make sure y'all tap in to see Hoop Dreams. So my 3 must-see movies, y'all, make sure y'all tap into Unforgettable, Beyond Reasonable Doubt, and Hoop Dreams. Make sure y'all tap into those great watches. Shout out to KO in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And KO always come through and show major love. So we appreciate KO in the building. All right, y'all, moving on. You know I'm going to give y'all some fire music to tap into. Y'all know my motto. Whether it's new, whether it's old, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's R&B, I'm going to give y'all that shit. I'm going to give y'all some fire. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. It got great vibrations. So my must-hear artist for tonight, make sure you put these 3 songs on your playlist. None other by Billy Ocean. Fire artist. Great catalog. Make sure you put these 3 songs on your playlist. Number 1, Caribbean Queen. Fire song. That song don't age to me personally. It's a fire song. Caribbean Queen. Number 2, Mystery Lady. Fire song. And number 3, Nights Feel Like Getting Down. Make sure y'all put these 3 songs on y'all playlist. It got that great vibration. And these songs never die out. Why do you think artists remake these songs? Because these are great songs. So again, Billy Ocean, number 1, Caribbean Queen. Number 2, Mystery Lady. Number 3, Nights Feel Like Getting Down. Make sure y'all put those 3 on y'all playlist. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all a great book to read. So tonight, no different. Thoughts of the Superior Man. Thoughts of the Superior Man. It's actually a good, really good read. Make sure y'all tap into this book. It's a time-honored strategies for self-governance. Make sure y'all tap into this book. And this book is by Dominic Blackwood. It's a great book to read. So make sure y'all tap in again to Thoughts of the Superior Man, time-honored strategies for self-governance. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all already know what time it is. Sending the turkey. For those who don't know, Turkey has some of the craziest laws in the world, so it became an inside joke on the show that when people on that bullshit, we send them to Turkey. When people do some bullshit, we send them to Turkey. So make sure y'all hit them T's to send them to Turkey, or type in not to send them to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. First one of the night, send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Willow Smith, daughter of Will and Jada Smith, says, asking someone on a date is considered old school. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Asia in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, Asia. Shout out to my bro Biggs in the building. What's poppin'? My dude, hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know how we do. It helps with the growth of the show. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother Christopher Rivera, Maria Rivera. Appreciate you tapping into the show. Appreciate you as always. Hit them likes, hit them likes. All right, so again, send them to Turkey or not. Type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in not to send them to Turkey. Again, the question is, well, Willow Smith, daughter of Will and Jada Smith, obviously, says that asking somebody out on a date is considered old school. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending her to Turkey for this comment, or are we not sending her to Turkey? Do she has, do she has a point by saying that? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Type in T or type it in the chat. Shout out to Asia again. Can you please send me the information on the book? Yeah, so the book, again, is called Thoughts of the Superior Man. And you're just going to have to look it up because there's no actual way for me to send it to you. But it's called Thoughts of the Superior Man, and it's by Dominic Blackwood. Yeah, that's the only information that I could send actually. No, it's a good idea to have that. Okay, time to marry me. Okay, that's okay. Thank you. Duh, duh, duh. Yeah, so what do y'all think in the chat? What do y'all think in the chat? Willow Smith, daughter of Will and Jada Smith, says that asking someone on a date is considered old school. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we typing T to send her the turkey, or are we saying N not to send her the turkey? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Rowan Jack, my dog Rowan Jack in the building. Um, I recommend the help. It's a movie that will make you laugh and cry. Did I see that? I seen the help. I think I seen the help. I think I seen the help. So I'm getting some mixed reviews in the chat. I'm seeing I'm seeing not the sin of the turkey. I seen some turkeys. She's ignorant. Yes, it is. Really, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So asking someone on a date is considered old school. Wow, that's very interesting. Until she said it, I haven't even heard that before. Um, and in the chat, some people saying send her the turkey. I will say this. So how would like I'm not trying to put my business out there, you know what I'm saying? But I go out, you know what I'm saying? I can get a bite to eat, you know. I have my fun. Whether if I ask or you know, the lady asks, you know what I'm saying? I never thought it was even considered that at all. Old school, wow. Um, I guess everybody just like vibe and chill. I guess that's kind of like the new thing, right? But that just kind of like let me know that people are not moving with intention, right? Like me personally, I don't mean to put my business out there for real, but for me, like I'm very upfront, right? So anytime I'm dating somebody, I really let them know, like, yo, this is where we at. You know, like I'm dating you with intention to really like for you to be my woman. If she doing the things that leads up to that, right? But if she not, yo, we cool. Like we cool, boo. Like, you know what I'm saying? We cool. Like we chill, you know what I'm saying? And we cool, you know? So I never thought of it like that. People that I normally date don't even think of it like that. And mind you, most of the women that I date is, I would say, 23 and up, right? So, and they've asked me and I've asked them. So I've never heard of that. So I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it depends on who you dealing with and who you with, right? I mean, because the whole purpose is intention, right? And for a lot of women, like y'all don't realize, like a guy intention with you is always going to be based on what you present to him. So if you present to him a good woman, good lady, guess what? He's going to have the intention to show you a good time and, yada, yada, yada. If you kind of show him like you too cool for school and you got other motion, then he's not going to be all the way in. That don't make men go all the way in. So it's quite interesting that she said that, because it's like, is it really considered old school? Because it's like, how do you ask then? Because again, when I say, hey, yo, you want to get something to eat? You want to hang out? You know what I mean? That's asking, right? I don't even think I necessarily say the word date. But if I did, I never thought it was considered old school. But that's a new one on me. That's a new one on me. Right? It's a respect factor. It's called respect and growing up and being able to love yourself in someone else. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I think that's where I don't hear when she says it's considered old school, because then it's like, how do you get with somebody? I'm old school in the sense where when I get with a woman, it's face to face. Like what I mean by that is, like, I do all my work face to face. Like I'm not going to be, I'm not the social media guy where I'm hollering at women via social media. Yeah, that's not my plate. You know what I'm saying? That I need up close and personal type of energy. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be around me type of energy. Cause I want to know what type of person that I'm actually taking out. I want to know if I'm going to like you or not. You know how hard it is to like somebody in this dating atmosphere? Like to really like somebody? Like think about it. When was the last time you really like somebody? Like so much to the point where you thought about them, it made you smile. When you're about to see them, it's like, yo, I'm about to see this person. Like I'm kind of like excited. Like so I think all that's intention based. And when she says it's old school, it doesn't sound intention based, is the point that I'm making. Shout out to Luke in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Appreciate the whack joke, you know what I'm saying? But it's all love at the end of the day. You talking about my cousin, you know what I'm saying? He talking about my cousin Marcus Houston. I mean, yeah, shout out to you. I mean, appreciate you tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. I hit each and every episode, so that's why I say the joke is whack and trash. But we appreciate good jokes over here. I'm from Brooklyn, so I love a good joke. So appreciate you tapping in, Luke. Hit them likes and hit the 100s, my brother. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Having the wrong partner is like having a child. Again, having the wrong partner is like having a child. Let me know if y'all agree with that in the chat. Are we sending that statement to Turkey or nah? Are we sending that statement to Turkey or nah? Again, type in T to send it to Turkey. Type it in not to send it to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Every time I see my husband, I get butterflies. I love it. You feel me, Maria? You know what I'm saying? That's how I gotta be. If you don't, I'm just gonna speak for me. I'm just gonna speak for me. Me personally, if I don't like, for I guess for women, y'all get butterflies. For men, it's like we get a smile on our face because we know we're around some real energy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing like having a woman also that know how to make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? We laugh at the same thing. If I'm laughing and she peeps the situation and start laughing, she knows what I'm laughing about. Like that's the type of energy I be on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that's the cancer in me, but you know. You feel me? If we not on that type of time, we not solid, throw it back, you know? That's just me. So that's just me. Uh T, they sending it to Turkey. Biggs, 100%. It's gotta be 100, not 50-50. I love that. I love that. I actually put that in a line. I wrote a song for one of my artists, and I said, love is a love is not 50-50, it's 100. And I said that same thing in the song. I said that same thing in the song. Shout out to Freestyle Unity when they come out. Shout out to Bradley Barr. Appreciate you tapping in. I'm using my partner's accounts. You true. Appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. My name is Ree. Appreciate you, Ree, in the building. My dog. Appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. So again, are we sending this to Turkey or not? Having the wrong partner is like having a child. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. More than 50% overweight. Okay. All right, so me personally, I'm seeing mixed answers. I'm seeing Turkey, and I'm seeing not send to Turkey. Me personally, I'm gonna not send this to Turkey. I agree with this, so I'm not gonna send this to Turkey. Having the wrong partner, in my experience, is like damn near having a child. Having the wrong partner is damn near like having a child, in my experience. And I'm not saying that in that particular relationship I wasn't at fault. There wasn't things I wasn't wrong about. There wasn't things that we both needed to do or whatever the case may be. But being in a real relationship, this is how I feel. You have to be comfortable having the uncomfortable conversation and being resolution based. You cannot be feeling based. I feel, I feel, I feel, when what you're dealing with the reality has nothing to do with your feelings. Feelings in the relationships, those feelings are pertaining to you. But what you feel and what's real is two different things. You can feel like your partner can't always be there for you. You can feel that. You can feel neglected. But the truth of the reality is the person could be there for you as much as you allow them to. And if and when they do show up and they show up in a big way, you can't say, well, I feel neglected when the person's with you and they being present. So reality and feeling is not the same thing. So for me, if you do have the wrong partner, that makes things difficult because now you can't have the uncomfortable conversation and being resolution based. That's the whole point and the purpose of it. Most relationships, like for real, like we all the adults here, you could find somebody and have a great sexual relationship with. Newsflash, fellas, you're not the only dude that can bust your girl guts wide open. Trust me, I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. And I'm not saying for me, I'm saying for me. You know what I'm saying? Keep your girl away. No, I'm being funny when I say that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, chill. But I say that because in my past, right, I dealt with women that had boyfriends and had significant others, right? Not on purpose, meaning, this is what I mean by this. I want to clarify this. When I used to meet a woman, I wouldn't ask if she got a man. I don't care if she got a man. That's not my business. I'm here to meet you, and if I like you like that, then I'm going to ask, yo, are you dealing with somebody? But if I'm here just to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean by that. I don't care. So I seen the other side of that where that man thought he was the only man that could pound his girl guts out. There's other men in the world that could pound your girl guts out. Ladies, there's other women in the world that could top your guy off to oblivion. There's women out here that specialize at that. I didn't, and every man know what I'm talking about. Every man know what I'm talking about. There's women in this world that when they rock it, it's like, yo, do you like you want to get a car or something? Like how can I help with some bills around here? Like I never knew it could be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like they that skillful. You just want to be helpful because you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's how crazy it is, right? So we can't be, and I'm joking when I say this, y'all, but loosely. But at the end of the day, sexually, you can find somebody to pound or to, you know, for fellas to get that good. But it's another thing to deal with somebody that is comfortable being uncomfortable, having an uncomfortable conversation and being resolution based. And that's the bottom line. That's the difference between tonight and your forever woman. That's the difference. If your woman can hear the truth from you, she can hear it. She could internalize it. She's not trying to defend it. She's not trying, but babe, she's not saying none of that. She's sitting with the truth. Whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's hurt, and being resolution based. And that goes for both men and women. Fellas, when your woman tell you some real shit, yo, you have to be able to sit with it and not make excuses and like, all right, cool. This is what we're dealing with. Cool. I know the truth. And now I can build. You can build off the truth. How can you build on a lie? How can you build on a lie? Like, again, I'm not trying to blame this woman that I'm talking about in particular. But every time I told her the truth, she got even more upset with me. Every time I'm honest, she was super upset. Then I start thinking to myself, like, yo, we will avoid more arguments if I just be lying around here. She want me to lie to her. So I'm going to lie as truthfully as I can lie to keep the peace around here because she don't want no peace. I want peace. She don't want no peace because every time I tell the truth, she's upset. But what I had to realize is that I still held blame in that. Reason being, because I'm the man in the relationship. Now, do she hold some accountability? Of course. Absolutely. And trust me, I did hold her accountable. But where the standstill is, and will always be, not for just my relationship, but for all relationships, there was no resolution after being honest and having that tough conversation. So at the end of the day, going back to send them to Turkey or not, well, we're still on send them to Turkey because it all went into my point is having the wrong partner is like having a child, because you feel like you got to walk on eggshells. You feel like you can't be honest. You got to tiptoe around the truth. And it's like, yo, I thought we was all grown in here. I pay bills and I expect for some damn peace, especially when I'm being honest, especially when I don't have to be honest. And that goes for both people. And the base of it is the truth. Again, I'm not blaming nobody. I used to do stupid stuff like, if I walk into a room and I seen a woman that I used to get down with, I would tell this person like, yo, I just want you to know this so this person don't feel like they got something over you. But see her over there? We used to get down. And the only reason why I'm telling you this is because I respect you enough for you to know the truth and for her to feel like she don't got like one up on you. Cause you, like, we together. I'm not with her. So you up on her. But you know, when people have slept with somebody that you're dealing with, they feel like you got one up on them. Like especially for us as men. Like if you walk into the room and bros then smash your lady, and you don't, and ladies, you don't let your dude know, or the men that hit you in that room, or the man that hit you in that room, feel like he got one up on it, because he's not gonna blow the spot up. He's not gonna tell him, and it's like it's always gonna be kind of slick. So I did the opposite. I told my woman the truth. I was like, yo, or my woman at the time, she was like, yo, this girl over here, yeah, me and her used to get down, but I'm only telling you this so you know the truth, and you could peep the slickness if she try to be slick. Like, he already told me. Like, me and him like this, so I don't even know why you think you got something on something. So that's why I did that in that particular relationship. She got pissed off at me. She was like, why are you telling me this? So again, having the wrong partner is like having a child. There's no way you should be with your partner and the truth change the way they look at you. That's why that matters. So that's why I'm going to say having the wrong partner is like having a child. The chat is going in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s again. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to my dog Vic in the building. Appreciate you as always. Can't pound away your problems. I learned that in my dad today. That's a fact though. Shout out to Grams in the building. That haircut is come on, bro, cut it out. You the dude I'm talking about, Grams. You know what I'm saying? You the dude I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You the dude I'm talking. Only a dude that's fearful of another dude will come in hot, talking crazy, trying to crack jokes, and trying to make it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you the dude that I'm talking about. You be dirty macking, and it won't help you, man. It won't help you, man. She got no kids, man. You can't have no kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Raven in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Vic. Equivalent to my director says it's not for me. Play my game. Shout out to 2011. Appreciate you tapping in. Please don't be in here trolling. Please don't be in here spamming. This is not the pod for that. Show love. Hit them likes. Hit them 100s if you're genuine. If you're not, please escort yourself out before I hook you up with some tickets. Insecure. Shout out to Vicky. Said it's a form of insecurity. Yes. Yes, when you have to walk on eggshells. Yes. Xing, do you use? Okay, shout out to X in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s while you're here. Please don't troll. I can't. My page is not for that. I don't do the bots and none of that stuff. So please leave before I hook y'all up with some tickets, man. What one woman won't do, another one will. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. I am Sonic X and play my. All right, 2011. I'm gonna hook you up with some tickets. I'm gonna save you from getting this song, but I'm gonna hook you up with some tickets. I asked you nicely. And the next person that trolls, I'm gonna hook you up with some more tickets. Please stop. This is not the pod for that, man. Be here to show love and engage, but not with the foolishness, man. This is real conversation. Shout out to Tio in the building. Appreciate that. Marion. At least y'all not comparing me to ugly people. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. I guess so. I guess so. Shout out to you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps. Again, where you get the finest of movies, shows, and documentaries and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Penn State University football team has fired head coach James Franklin after starting off with a 3-3 record. He's been struggling as of late. His record versus top 5 teams, it's not good. I believe it's like 1-8 or something like that. It's bad, and records against top 10 and top 25 teams is not impressive at all. Neither. I think this really happened mainly because their team was supposed to be a championship caliber team. That's what was the preseason expectation. It was either national championship or bust. Their quarterback, Drew Aller, was supposed to be considered one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And with that team, the administration and the boosters felt like you got a great team. And this is the first time I've ever seen, no, this is not the first time I've ever seen it, but with this particular form of team with James Franklin, this is the really first time I've seen a team that was supposed to be this great lose 3-0 like this in the way that they're losing. So I'm not necessarily shocked. I thought they was going to give him the rest of the year. It's Penn State, right? But they mid-season, 6-6. They're going to have 6 more games to play, and they rather get ready for the next season. So that's why they got rid of him now. But this season has been very disappointing for the Penn State Nittany Lions thus far. And at the end of the day, if you don't win games at Penn State and beat the Ohio States, the Michigans, my team, you know what I'm saying? If you can't do that at Penn State, you're not going to be there for very long at all. So, but I think he'll be fine. He's going to land on his feet. I think he'll probably end up at a school somewhere like in the ACC or the Big 12. He used to coach Vanderbilt, which is in the SEC, and, coach in the Big 10. So I think he's going to still end up on his feet quite nicely. He still has a good resume where he could end up with another head coaching job as far as James Franklin. Shout out to Quincy Jacobs in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my guy. Is Ashley both a man and a woman's name? If my name is Ashley, I think that answers the question, right? I saw going more with the dude was named Ashley. Okay. Getting older sucks. Shout out to G in the building. Rest in peace, Joe Paterno. That's a fact. That's a fact. Rest in peace to Joe Pa. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so new adventures for James Franklin. Free Diddy or resurrect Jeffrey Alstein. Shout out to Kanye West. Hit them likes, hit the 100s in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. New York City raises the max weekly of unemployment payments from $504 to $869 a week. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, New York City, its max weekly unemployment payment was raised from 504 to 869 a week. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s, y'all. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11. So again, I appreciate y'all support. But me personally though, it's crazy in New York City right now. It's crazy. Like it's crazy all over the world when it comes to the market, when it comes to having the ability to find a job and the upkeep and bills and things like that. It's crazy everywhere. But New York City, like for real, you have to be able to hustle to live in New York City. You don't necessarily need to make 100,000 or 200,000. That would help. That would make you ultra comfortable. But generation after generation is able to live in New York City based on being able to have the ability to hustle, have the lowest amount of bills that you could have, and take in the most that you could take in as far as finances. So the fact that they're doing this in particular, I think this is great for the people who is going through this struggle at the time. You know, I've heard of some people, shout out to Ebony in the chat, damn, that's not terrible if you can't find a job or work for time or work for time, make less than 900. So basically, like I've heard other people say they rather be on unemployment than to go to work to make less than what the unemployment actually pay them. So you're basically paying people more to stay home, right? Which is so backwards, right? Because unemployment is supposed to be a supplement. That's not a real income. Like you're supposed to be able to work and make more money. So it's great for people to get a raise in this, but damn, if it pays people to stay home, then what are we talking about? What are we doing as an economy? How are we helping and boosting our economies if we're incentivizing higher pay for unemployment? How are we incentivizing making our economy strong where I don't mind that the people is making that on unemployment? What I'm saying is now when they're working, so if they can make basically $900 a week, if they're working, they should be able to make $1,500 a week, $1,600 a week. Incentivize people to work. And if they have skill, if they have education, and if they have background, that is the recipe and the resume for them to make that. You're not giving somebody that's what the market should be. Because anytime you give somebody less, when you're giving people money or giving people money, but when you're paying people money to stay home more than what it would take for them to work, then you're not helping boosting our economy. So how is this helping our economy if most people are making more money on unemployment than they do working? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. To me, I just think that's wild. Because at the end of the day, again, we just issued out all these tariffs. And we at odds with different countries to import. They've been charging us, so now we're going to charge their ass. Cool. I'm cool with that. So now if we're doing that and most people don't realize the cost of living is only going up is because majority of our goods is coming outward. But if we raised and had our own farms and we produce within our own farms, if we made and produced our own cars, if we did the majority of these things in-house, then the cost of living goes down. So how do we incentivize working when people have skill? People sitting at home with skill. People sitting at home with experience. People sitting at home with education. So how can we capitalize in these industries to make America great again? Because at the end of the day, like if we could be all the way honest, nobody cares about working. People been working forever. People going to get up and go to work. But let that work count for something. Let it go to or for something that's produced and maintained by our country in the U.S. So that way we boost our economy. We lower the cost of living in our economy. But if you're paying people more to stay home than to actually work, then what are we doing? Shout out to Clay in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Scott. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. It's obvious they want us to raise the amount of people who are unemployed. You might think it's gross, but it's really good on toast. Shout out to Scott. Again, please don't be here botting. Please don't be here trolling. This is not the podcast for that. Please, respectfully and respect me. If you're not here to show love and really be engaged, excuse yourself. Shout out to Aldridge in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. It's very obvious they want more people to go on unemployment. But at the end of the day, how is it helping our economy? You're basically making people depend instead of earn. Those are two different things when you could do both. When you could wake up and know where you're going to get your dollar from, know where you're going to make your money from, know how your savings is put away, know how your kids' college funds is put away. Because for most people that don't understand this, every day that we get up to go to work, as far as a job, you're basically working 160 days of that for free. It's 352 days of the year. 160 of that you basically working for free. Basically, because you're paying taxes, and if you're working with a company and you work in a career, then there's pension, then there's IRAs also involved. So again, how we are incentivizing people, again, who are skilled, who are education, and who has education and have the know-how of these jobs, if you're paying them more to stay home. So we're going to continue to depend not just on our country, but others. Because if we continue to pay more, it's only going to be more. It's never going to come down if we don't create our own concrete, if we don't create our own fruits and produce our own farms, produce our own cars. This is how cost of living goes down. Shout out to D in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Homie, 352 days of the year. What calendar? Well, you know what I mean. Is it 362 or 352? 364, right? It's 364. But you get the point that I'm making, D. You get the point that I'm making. If my math wasn't mathing, that's cool. We all make mistakes. 365. There we go. 365 days of the week, of the year. My point is still when people do the correction, right? Shout out to D, but you did the correction, but my point still stand, bro. My point still stand. 365, 265, it's 365, right? 365 days of the year, right? You still working 165 days for free because it goes to taxes and it goes to your pension. Still the same. So my point was still made, all right? So don't be trying to be slick by correcting me. Just correct me respectfully. You know what I'm saying? No, but shout out to D. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to Paul in the building. Shout out to Paul. Paul is always getting me right. You know what I'm saying? This is what I mean, Paul. See, Paul know what I was talking about, and she just corrected. Like, yo, it's 365. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to correct it as I see it. You feel me? It's a whole lot going on when you film it live, baby. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes my math might be a little off, but the point's still made. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to D in the building. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. This is a statement that used to be told to me when I was a kid, and I never understood it until I got much older. So me and my father, you see this gentleman over here with my mom, right? I don't know if y'all can see it that well, but me and my dad, we owned a business together, right? And people, when they used to come into the business, they would get like amazed by father and son. They just thought it was a cool thing because that's not something that they would see, right? Young son dad, you know, working together, and me and my dad relationship was more like brothers, like little brother, big brother, right? So we will always argue, you know, point that I'm making is people will always say, especially the men, you are lucky to have your father in your life. The women would think it would be super cute because before I leave my dad, I always kiss my dad on his cheek, right? Because I love him. You know what I'm saying? My rest in peace to my pops. But when the women would see that, they would be like, "Oh, that's so cute! Like that's real love! Like y'all really love each other, right?" Of course, that's my dog, right? But the men would say, "You're lucky to have your father in your life." Now, when they said that at the time, the young version of myself, this is the 20-something-year-old version of myself, early 20s of myself, I'll be like, he gets on my nerves. Like that's what I would be thinking to myself. Like, yo, this dude gets on my nerve. He points out everything that I do wrong, nothing I do right, and he gets on my last nerve. But what they were saying in that was, I'm lucky to have my dad in my life because there was a man that raised me, as well as with my mom, but there was a man that raised me. And my dad, and I always say this too, my dad raised me to be the man that he wanted to be, not the man that he was. And not just them, but I have family members that will also say, man, that's cool, you and your dad have a business together and y'all working together and y'all are in each other's lives the way y'all in each other's lives. Like y'all really like, that's your dude. And I'm like, yeah. And what I gained from it and the different perspective as a grown man is that there was a man that showed me how to be a man. Good, bad, or indifferent. My nature in itself is lead with the necessary force to make me find resolution based on the things that he taught me in life. Meaning that everything ain't gonna be easy. Shit will be hard, but there's steps on coming out at adversity. I watched my father struggle majority of my life. My father didn't really start making money like that until we had a business. And again, I was much older. By the time I got older, then he started like really making crazy loot. But the point that I'm making is because I seen him struggle growing up, I seen a lot of my father's weaknesses and failures and the things that he couldn't overcome until he did. And that was part of the reason why those men would be like, dude, you so lucky to have your dad, man. And at the time, I kind of took it for granted only because I'm in my early 20s. I got my whole life to live ahead of me, but I'm already a grown ass man. I got a like 5-year-old daughter. No, I got a 4-year-old daughter by the time I'm 20, right? So at the end of the day, it's the lessons that we're taught and that's learned. And I learned through him by watching him. And there's things that I had to go through that he never went through that he had to learn through me. And be like, okay, I'm not going to give another young man that same advice because my son went through this. It was such a teaching and learning moment between the both of us. But that's what they meant by you're lucky to have your dad in your life. Not for the fact that if you didn't have your dad in your life, you wouldn't be successful. No, they're saying a part of being successful is basically learning how to fail. Every man, and I believe this, every man has to learn how to fail. Whether you come from money, you come from any type of, I can't think of the word right now, but if you come from a background that's like very prestigious, you have to learn how to fail. And not just a personal failure. You have to learn how to fail monumentally where it's really directly your fault. It's your fault. And it only and it not only affects you, but it affects everybody around you. And if you learn how to fail in that space and learn how to rise from that, which I learned through watching my father, it's only going to make you a stronger person and a stronger man. So that's what the men used to say. And I always kept that in the back of my head. Even 20 years later, I kept that in the back of my head like, damn, the men will always say like, yo, you lucky to have your father. And I always used to think when they say that it was like taking something away from me. Like, what you mean? Like, I did this on my own. Like, yeah, I got my father, but I had to work hard on my own. The car I'm driving right now, I did that. That's me, player. House, crib I live in, that's me, player. Don't discredit me. And when I was in my early 20s, everything that people gave credit for to my dad, for my success, I always thought it was something against me. As a grown man, super grown man, I should say, not a young adult, even though I was grown, I see what, like, the ideology of what they was getting at by saying that. So I have so much more respect for my father and all the fathers out there that's showing their sons the way, showing their sons how to fail and how to bounce back. Because it's not an easy thing to get up. Because one thing about living life, yo, it's a heavyweight fight. And it's going to knock you on your ass. But it's learning how to get up. And it's not easy getting up every single time. Especially when you don't internalize and realize the moment. So that's something I had to put out there because it was something that was like boggling my mind. Shout out to Elaine in the building. Appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to the second coming. Appreciate you for tapping in. My brother, what's up, homie? I just subscribed. Friends talk about all the time. He's saying you tell some cool and good stories that I wanted to figure out. Appreciate that second coming, my dude. Appreciate that. Again, for y'all, don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Y'all already know Drake. His lawsuit have been dismissed by the judge despite the efforts of Drake. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I thought that was super interesting. He lost his case that he had against his label. So let me know what y'all think about that in this case. Do you think that the dismissal of this case, does it affect Drake's legacy moving forward? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Do him losing this case affects his legacy moving forward as an artist? Let me know what y'all think about that. My father always tells me to keep going and never give up, and don't be stupid on doing bad stuff. So then he just say, believe in yourself, and believe in yourself all the time. So second coming, right? To kind of go back a little bit, based on what you just said, I agree with, right? But in real time, in real life, the reason why these ideas is that he taught you that, and why my dad taught me to learn how to fail so that way I could move up, is because when you going through life day to day, that shit ain't easy to do. It ain't always easy getting up. It ain't always easy getting up if you're looking at stress about paying that rent. If you're looking at stress on paying that car note, you might get a letter that, hey, yo, if you don't pay this next car note, yo, we're going to take your car. If you late on this payment for your mortgage, hey, the bank is going to foreclose to take your house. You can't pay the taxes on this house. So that's why that ideology is stuck in your head, and for my dad and my head, is because going through life and going through the bullshit just every day, it's not always easy to analyze the moment. Because real talk, like if you think about it, y'all, anytime you go through something negative, if you get you a nap and just and let whatever's going on and you internalize it and you figure things out, you be like, I could deal with it. I can deal with it. But if you do the first thing and react, you always gonna crash out. So that's why that was so poignant what you said, the second comment. So again, let me know what y'all think about the Drake lawsuit. Again, it has been dismissed on his case. Does this affect Drake's career moving forward? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, when I think of this case in itself, because Drake was basically accusing his label for basically botting the music of Kendrick Lamar, and basically botting the music of Kendrick Lamar overshadowed the music that he was putting out and their diss against each other. Regardless if that's true or not, and the reason why I say regardless is because, so this is the only time, if they did it, because this is alleged, so this is the only time the label has botted music, if they did that. So all the time you was with the label, they never botted your music. Drake, and I said this on other shows, I did the math on it, and it was mathing, right? Drake from 2000, I believe 2014 or 15, is the most streamed rapper that we've ever had for 10 straight years. So if you're accusing your company or the company that you're with for basically botting music that promotes another artist that's on their label that's going at you, and in the songs that they're talking about or he's talking about are saying things that's going against your character, so they didn't do that for you? Okay. So that's why it's regardless for me. That's why that's regardless for me. But him losing this case, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good because it feels like he's a sore loser. He got bodied against Kendrick Lamar. And I was one of the very few people, like song by song, I said, Drake made this song better than Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick had this song better than Drake. And I had it 3-2, Kendrick Lamar. But once Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, dropped and it rang out, the battle was over. And what I mean by that is this. Not Like Us is not a song that, like, bar for bar is like, oh my God, like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Oh my goodness. No, it's not. But it goes hard and it rings out. When a song rings out, it is over. It is over. Like, I'm one of the people, again, that thought Blueprint was better than Nas Ether. And then when Jay-Z dropped Super Ugly with the Dr. Dre beat, I thought it was like, yo, Nas, chill, bro. Like, he taking the gloves off. He's talking about, it got nasty, right? But the reason why a lot of people say Ether won, because lyrically, Ether is all right. It's not crazy lyrically, but it rang out. And it was against Jay-Z at a time where Jay-Z was Jay-Z. Like, he's still Jay-Z, but I'm talking about in the music space, when you hear somebody going at the guy and he landed a couple ones and then the other one was like, ooh, that one wasn't so tough, but it rang out. It rang out. And once it rings out, it's over. So for Drake, Not Like Us rang out. And it's a good song. 10 years from now, people are going to be still playing Not Like Us. So at the end of the day, him trying to go the legal route, going the court route after he got smoked, it just it doesn't leave a great impression on people who engage in hip hop. Now, some people, if you make great music, all is forgiven. If Drake, and I've said this before, if Drake sat down and came out with an outstanding album, people going to still rock with Drake. People still rock with Drake, but if he come out with an outstanding album, people going to forgive that. It's going to forgive that battle. They're not going to throw it away, but they'll forgive it. You see what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar was able to capitalize on bringing great music, great diss records, and then he brought an album out. So that propelled him in the eyes of people of hip hop. So at the end of the day, this does make Drake look like a sore loser, in my opinion. It does. Because if he would have won the battle, would he would have took anybody to court? Would he would have took his label to court? If he would have won the battle, if people say, yo, Drake smoked him straight out, Would he would have been saying that, yeah, the company using bots against me, and then the songs is reckless and it's not a part of my character? Would he even be doing this if he would have won? So this is why it makes him look bad in this particular situation. Shout out to the chat y'all going in the chat. Drake should go to, okay. He called his little homies to on the live. I can't finish that because of the guidelines. But again, shout out to the second coming. I didn't know that. I didn't know that what you just said. Drake even. Okay. Drake look crazy. Never. Okay. Again, I'm not reading the end of some of these on purpose. Okay. I have to be very careful with the YouTube stuff or whatever. Steelers Nation. Shout out to Steelers Nation. Yeah, did y'all win today? Yeah, y'all did win today. Y'all did. Shout out to y'all, man. What about J. Cole? Shout out to Cairo in Canada. God is good. Much love and respect. Have a bless. We appreciate that. Drake is. I can't finish that right now. Yeah, cause y'all know I ain't gonna finish that. You know what I'm saying? Drake has way more hits than K. Dot. That could be true. I would say that is true. Drake do have more hits than K. Dot. He does. But see, here's the thing, right? With legacy, it matters how you leave. It matters how you leave. You can have a whole lot of hits, but doesn't mean your hits is going to live out through time. I'm saying these particular artists not to come at them. I'm saying it so people can understand a time period. So I have to use their name mainly because they're great and they had a lot of hits. Artists like Will Smith and LL Cool J. Again, I'm not even necessarily putting them in the same name and breath because LL Cool J was the king of rap for a long period of time. He created the term GOAT. But if somebody in 2027 listens to LL Cool J's music and they've never listened to it before, they're going to find some great music. They're going to find albums that are in classes where a lot of artists can't really talk about. But some of those songs sonically today doesn't match up. So because those songs don't match up sonically today, the effect is not going to be the same. This is not a demerit on LL Cool J's music or his skill. This is just sonic. And in time, sonics does matter. So with Drake, he has a lot of hits, but it's going to be a point in time when we get to 2045. Yes, 2045 will be here one day, y'all. 2045, sonically, are we going to say Drake had more hits or what is more long lasting? And the reason why I say that is because growing up as a little kid, there's music that still lasts today. Sonically, it still lasts today. And that artist didn't have all. He didn't have like the hits that this other artist had, but sonically, it still rings out. So the fact that he has more hits is kind of irrelevant because we're talking about in today and age. But again, when something rings out, that means forever. When something is like a true banger, it's forever. So that's why that word hits is kind of skewed. You know what I'm saying? Hits is forever. I'll say Drake has a lot of top 100 music in a sense where when he dropped it, it was top 100. But hits is forever. Sonically, it's, I mean, it does. Again, it's not a diss on Drake. It's just sonically, some things won't last. So, and the reason why that matters again, because Not Like Us will last. It will last. So that's why that's kind of like irrelevant, because you have a lot of artists that move like that. R. Kelly music is forever because sonically, the way he made it, it's timeless music. Michael Jackson music is timeless music. Michael Jackson was making futuristic music. If you listen to I get into an argument with people all the time. They say, what's the best Michael Jackson album? Thriller or Off the Wall? I say neither. I say neither. I always say it's bad. And the reason why I say it's bad because sonically it's laced with hip hop. Bad is laced with hip hop. The beat is laced with hip hop. And because it's laced with hip hop, it lasts forever. There's certain songs on that Off the Wall album that is nuclear bombs. But the reason why some of those songs had to be remade by other artists because sonically it lost its luster. And y'all know I'm not coming at the great one, Michael Jackson, but again, sonically it matters. Shout out to Dylan, appreciate you as always. Yeah, but Drake albums mainly is older ones are classic. Thank me. Can't read the rest. I'm reading the rest of it. I can't say it out loud. More like you go crazy. Honestly, I think you shouldn't even compare Drake to Dot because you can compare it. You can compare it. We can't say because another artist sings on his music that you can't compare rap. Once you in the elk of rap, then you're gonna get compared. He's in rap. He's not in R&B. And it's the fact that he chooses to put harmony and vocals on his music, it's comparable. It's comparable. It may not be all the way. You probably not saying they're not in the same vein. Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Yeah, of course not. But at the end of the day, hip hop is hip hop. I'm saying overall though, not you. Overall, then all bets is off. You have to compare it because it's all hip hop. I don't disagree. I feel Drake is more a rapper, not singer. I'm the same way. Drake has some songs where he sung on that came out good, but rap is where he shines at. But again, when you have writers, to me that matters about MCing. Does it matter about being an artist? It always does for me, but for some people it don't. They just want the work. Legacy-wise, I mean, overall, I think both of them have had a great career overall. But a part of legacy is also how you leave. So that's why we have to consider that as well. How you leave the game matters. It matters. It matters. Shout out to Ike Love in the building. Does it count if he has a ghost? I just said it does matter. That matters as well. That matters because when you have a writer in any capacity, you're not cheating, but you're going to garner more songs with less work. With less work. There's a machine that's feeding you. So it does matter. In my opinion. Hello, big dog. Shout out to all. Appreciate you in the building. A in the building. It seems to be determined. I mean, that again, what I'm saying again is for me. That's what I think. Who has the better career overall? Honestly, I think it's even to be honest with you, only because the situation where Kendrick is right now. Right then, and how it ended up. The beginning of that it's not even close, to be honest with you. It's not even close. But when you go head to head with somebody, you're imagine this, right? Think of it like boxing, right? If you win 80 fights, and this person won 40 fights, and then y'all fight head to head. All his belts is on the line, all your belts is on the line. And he beat you. He wins. Are you still going to say, well, I had the better career even though he's the only person that beat me? You're not going to say that, right? So that's how I look at it as well too. Eminem is more of old school rapper than he is a singer. Yep, but we're we're mostly getting into the fact that Drake lost his well, he didn't even lose. They threw out his case, his lawsuit against his label. So a big reason I wouldn't say K Dot is because Drake. Wait, but I mean, but see, also, and again, you may not be wrong about that. You may not be wrong about, because again, and I don't want to sound like no hater, or because I'm not a hater. I don't hate neither one of them for anything, like for real. But their music is not my go-to, me personally. So I really look at this objectively, and I don't have no dog in the fight on me saying who's better and that person is better. Like I don't have no dog in that fight, right? Like real talk, because either one I say, people will be like, oh, I'm not hating on neither one of them. Trust me, I'm not. I can sing and I can rap, and I don't need to hate. I'm very skillful in what I do, and I'm very proud of my career. But in this elk, their music is not my go-to. So me personally, I'm just looking at this objectively. People have an argument to say that Drake got way more hits. That's something you can say, and that can be true, right? But when songs ring out, like with Kendrick Lamar has a lot of long-lasting songs. Some artists have songs for that time period, and they just counted on their jacket, right? Like, yo, that song is a banger, that song is a banger, but that song was a banger back in that time. You can only play it back in that time. That's why I brought up the LL Cool J comparison, because, again, LL Cool J made a lot of fire music, but sonically, and it's only sonically, some of that music is not going to hit the same because it's not in today's vein. But when it came out, oh, it was going crazy. So that's why I say having more is kind of like double loaded. You know what I mean? Because throughout time, if something doesn't ring out and it's just for that time period, then do they really have more? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the movie 300, right? And the guy was like, yo, we was eager to meet up with y'all, but you bring a handful of these soldiers? Like, what's up with you, Leonidas? And he like, hey, you, what's your profession? He's like, I'm a potter. Hey, you, what you do? I'm a sculptor, son. What's your profession? I brought more soldiers than you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So stuff ringing out matters. So, but you make a great point though, Dylan. You make a great point. I get that, but I truly believe that it's a lot of people who still bump OG. Listen, people still bump. I'm not up here. If anybody heard what I said and say that I'm bashing Drake or to bash Kendrick, that's not what I'm doing. And I know you're not saying that in particular. I'm just want to make that clear, that I don't want nobody to think that at all, because I'm not a hater. I have nothing to hate about. But I'm just telling like how I see it. This does not make Drake look good after losing a battle and then taking somebody to court for something that he benefited off of for years and years. And if he would have won the battle, would this even be a court issue? Because a part of him going to court again, and I have to iterate, is the fact that he feels that there was bots that was promoting Kendrick Lamar's music through his company, through the same label that he's on. So all these years, they just pick now not to like you, so you the benefit of none of those bots being the top streaming artists in the last 10 years, or the top streaming hip hop in the last 10 years. You didn't benefit from none of that. So now because you took the L, now it's an issue. Oh. So that's how I look at that. That's a part of legacy as well. At the same time, maybe I'm thinking it's because I feel that way, because at the end, it is very subjective. Music is very subjective. And again, I said this before, and again, I'm not saying these names to diss. I'm saying them names because they're great and they make different music and is not traditional. An artist like Pitbull, who's not traditionally, he doesn't do traditional rap, even though when he first came out, he was doing hardcore type of rap, but he found his lane in doing big pop rap, and that's the lane that the world know him at. Pitbull makes Super Bowl music. Pitbull makes theme music and it rings out. And some people will look at Pitbull as like, yo, he's the guy. What are you about to play, Lil Wayne? And I take that or put on Pitbull. And again, I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that is that music is subjective. So anybody that's different and does non-traditional, it's somebody that's going to rock with them all the way down. So again, I'm not saying that artist as a diss. Shout out to Be Real in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. That was all right. Okay. Hit them likes, hit the 100s while you're here. You know, be real. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be funny. I'm from Brooklyn too. I love a good joke, bro. But damn, that shit fell. Appreciate you though, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. The gaming. Appreciate you tapping in. I can use. Come on, man. Like, see. When bros, and I know it be dudes that be trying to flame, knowing I would take your girl, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, just terrible, bro. I feel you. I feel you. It's cool. It's cool. Just leave your lady away from me. It's cool. It's cool. Hit them likes and hit them 100s while you're here, my G. Like, that's crazy. A guy trying to bag on another guy, and you don't even know me. Like, shout out to Dylan. That's probably the funniest thing you said. But you on my pod. Like, that's the funniest thing I said, but you on my pod. Like, that's like going to somebody's party and trying to crack on them when all the girls is looking at them, everybody fucking with them, but you just want to be different just to stand out. You want to be a stain. Have the ability to stand out by being positive, bro. If you can't do that, then I don't know what to tell you, my G. How you go on somebody else's joint trying to go in, and then when they go at you, they say, oh, now that ego is real. Right? So I can't say nothing, right? I can't say nothing. I just let you say what you say, right? And you at my party. Yeah. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you give trophies to everybody. This is what happens, bro. Because everybody thinks, but get out of here, bro. Get out of here. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You don't feel like they got behind you no more. Oh my goodness, brother. I appreciate you for tapping in. You know what? You don't got it, but I'm gonna let you be, man. Like, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. This is probably the thing that you could like have control over in your life by saying something on social media. Shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably doing it from your parents' crib. So shout out to you from your room, actually. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, man. That's crazy. Because I don't know nobody that got motion that watches me that say stuff like that. That's crazy. Shout out to you, though. It'll say for you. You feel me, Dylan? You feel me? Like, that's crazy. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Question. What happened to protecting our neighborhoods? That's a serious question. What happened to protecting our neighborhoods? And the reason why I asked this question is because at a high school, IC Norman High School, in Portmouth, there was a football game going on, and then out of nowhere, there was a whole shootout outside the park, but like basically crossing the field. So much to the point when the players was in mid-play, they heard them gunshots and got the hell up off that field. They ran 40s off that field, both teams. The sidelines, everybody cleared the park. And this is a high school game. So this is a stadium and a game going on where positivity is going on in this stadium. Kids are doing something constructive, right? They're learning the concept of discipline and in a team sport and learning how to be a part of a team, learning how to be a part of something greater than themselves. Again, I don't want to sound like the old guy in the room, but I remember a time where you had positivity going on. Anything that was street related was never next to anything positive. There was consequences you had to face for that. So whatever happened to protecting our neighborhoods? Because in a reverse way, the only time I see people saying anything is when we do it to each other. I'll look at TikTok and see some random person in the store, and then you have somebody rolling up in there like, "Yeah, where you from? What set you from? And are you supposed to be? Did you check in? Like, bruh, what? That's protecting your neighborhood? The person that's in your neighborhood that look like you checking them, but not the people that don't have a vested interest in actually being in your neighborhood, that's doing wrong around people with positive? That's protecting the neighborhood? I remember there was a time, if I seen one of my friend's mom with her groceries, I'm helping her with her groceries if my friend is not around. Even if he is around, I'm still helping with their groceries all the way to where they live. I don't care if it's 2 blocks away. That's just sheer respect. If I did anything that I wasn't supposed to be doing, I'm not doing that next to anything positive. And then me personally, I grew up playing sports. I boxed first, then I started playing football and basketball, or basketball and football. And as a lot of my friends that I used to like really like be outside and engage in street activity, bro, you an athlete. You got a talent for this shit. Nah, bro. Nah. You got practice. Nah. Well, then when I start coming home, I'm like, yo, what we doing? Nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Nothing. And I set my own motion, even as a little kid. But I had to realize, like, yo, they looking out. So whatever happened to really protecting your neighborhood? Being the elder statesman in your neighborhood used to matter. It used to stand for something. I remember the guys that used to be on the corner drinking a little something, smoking a little something. And real talk, that's all they was doing. Out there talking, shooting the breeze. But they was looking out for the neighborhood. They was making sure that kids like myself and my friends didn't get into trouble, didn't get involved with the police, none of that type of stuff. You didn't have little pedophiles trying to come into the neighborhood and snatch kids up because you had those men on the corner. And even though they wasn't selling anything for what I know, but they was out there drinking and smoking a little something, cracking jokes, and they in their own world. But they'll be damned if they let a kid or people that's doing positivity get affected on their watch. I remember when I went into the store one time, I had to be no older than 10 years old. One of those guys see me in the store, like, hey man, I ain't seen you in a long time. This is the first time my mother's with me. She like, yo, what you mean you see him in a long time? What, you a little pedophile? My mother went off. And he calmly and respectfully said, no, man, you misconstrued that. These kids be out here playing and running around all day. I just be looking out. I see them all the time. I don't mean no disrespect. My name is this. I live over here. I don't mean no disrespect. I apologize if I came to your son wrong or you wrong. And this was a grown-ass man. And he had that respect. That's a part of protecting your neighborhood. Not shooting up just to shoot up because you seen the op and all this positive shit is going on over here. Where they do that at? Is that really protecting the neighborhood? What happened to protecting your neighborhood? I just don't understand it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that sees something wrong with that. Maybe that's just me. But whatever happened to that? All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. There's another statement I have to make mention. Fly bums. This is this is something I would say all the time in New York City. And I'm born and raised from Brooklyn, you know. So, but it's not just New York City. It's all over the world. And I coined the phrase fly bums. And the reason why I coined the phrase fly bums is because I see and I know some people who are fly bums. They get dressed head to toe. They spend all their money on getting Gucci, Prada, Louis, the whole shebang, Balenciaga, whatever high end you want to talk. They have it. But they don't have that in their account. But they still live at home, living in their room, putting their name on the juice. But they have no wills. But they don't do anything that facilitates a lifestyle for themselves and the higher ilk or their children. That's why I say that. Fly bums. When you have people, when they get a little money, they have to, yeah, I got that shit on. Yeah. But what's the sense of having that shit on if you don't have nothing in it? What's the sense of having that shit on when you don't have nothing to stand on where the people around you respect what you done took care of? Because as men, we're providers. We're natural providers. As men, when we got it, we make sure the village gets. The village got to eat once the man got it. The village got to eat, bro. Simple and plain. And we're naturally like that. So when I see guys out there spending all their money on the latest jewelry, on the latest clothes, got no wills, don't have your own home, and you still need to borrow money for Pampers. How? I knew a dude who literally had 8 chains on. Gold diamond chains. Gold diamond chains, yes, and it was heavy. Calls me, say, bro, I'm messed up. Messed up. Can you send me, like, hook me up with a little kid package? Man, my kids is without right now. I know you in real life. He got so much chains that he got a chain, like, you know, he got a thing for his chains, like a traveling chain case. You got money. Nah, bro, I messed up. No, you have money. One of them chains got to go. Go pawn it or go sell it. And then your children, who should have been the priority, should have been the forefront of your, priorities and things that you had to get done, they would now have food. They would have Pampers. They would have the things, the necessities that as a father that you should be taken up with. So at the end of the day, what are we talking about? Fly bums. People not putting their priorities in check. This also goes for women too. I know some women that goes on vacation all the time. All the time. But don't have money to take care of their rent, take care of their kids. I don't understand that. What happened to the priorities? Fly bums. They want people to have a perception of them. And I understand that people do things for experiences, but there's things called priorities. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice clothes, nice chains, and all that stuff. But did you take care of your priorities? Children is your priorities. When they get grown, then that's different. But when they kids, when they're children, they under your house, they under your roof. That's different. Those are your priorities. So there's such thing as a fly bum. And I had to make mention of that. Shout out to our Miss in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Shout out to Sugar Valentino. Appreciate you tapping in. You look like, talk about my cousin again. Okay. Shout out to you. What's up? Yeah, nah. Our miss, you look like you spamming, it sound like you spamming. If you here to be genuine, show love. Don't be a stain. Don't try to stand out by being a saying stupid stuff or being negative. Show love. If you're not here to show love respectfully, you know what I'm saying? Show love. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to Shatika in the building. I would never try to live outside my means. Okay. Shout out to Juan. Why you talk? Appreciate you, Juan, for tapping in. Sounds like you want to be a stain. Sounds like you want to stand out for being negative. This is not the pod for that. We about positivity over here. And if you think what I'm saying is BS, then leave. You can't come to my party talking your mess. Because in the real world, you wouldn't say that to my face. Just saying. Shout out to Nick Q. Appreciate you tapping in. Shakia fly bums don't care about priorities. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. They don't care about priorities. They don't care about priorities. At the end of the day, again, I know some of these people, known some of these people. And it's like, that what happened to taking care of your village? Ain't nobody asked to be here. Your kids ain't asked to be here. You ain't asked to be here. But you got to take care of it. It's your responsibility. So, shout out to Biggs. I bet, he said, oh, I bet wanted to be a fly bum at time. I bet wanted to be a fly bums. I bet you. I can't understand that one part that you missed. I can't understand that one part you missed. Shout out to Malu in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Malu, one of our day ones and one of our badge holders. Shout out to Big Malu in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to legendary actress Diane Keaton. Oscar award winning Diane Keaton. Y'all probably she's best known for playing in The Godfather. I think she was in 2 or 3 or just 3. The First Wives Club. She did a whole lot of movies. She's legendary actress. So again, a quick rest in peace to her. She's been dope, always been dope, and shout out to her. Shout out to True in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Here we go with one of these stains again. Bro, you only telling yourself, bro. Stop. Okay, I bet. Oh, I've been wanted to be a fly bum at times. Okay, I get what you say. I've been wanted to be a fly bum at times. Nah, you don't want to be no fly bum, bro. Nah, you upstanding brother. Like, Biggs, you my bro and one of my brothers in real life, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always been an upstanding man. You don't want to be no fly bum, bro. You know what I'm saying? Never that. Malu, True, you will be worse because you just had to use that to act stupid. You feel me, Malu? You feel, like come on, you feel me, Malu? You know what I'm saying? But yes. Again, rest in peace to Diane Keaton, Oscar award-winning actress. Again, especially known for The Godfather and The First Wives Club. All right, moving on to my next popular opinion. I'm sorry, my next hot topic. But this is a question, though. This is a question. If you found out your favorite famous celebrity was selling sexual favors, would you experience your fantasy? And is it really a big deal? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. If you found out your favorite famous celebrity was selling sexual favors, would you experience the fantasy? And is it a big deal? Let me know what you think about that in the chat. I'm seeing yes, I would in the chat. I just brought my son 150 football cleats, and he's lucky though I never had one of those. That's a fact. That's a fact. You going back to what I said about fly bums? Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact. Uh, no, absolutely not. So I'm seeing some yeses and I'm seeing some nos. It's a huge deal, or respect would be lost. Okay, okay, okay. So for some people it's a big deal. Some people it's not. I'm seeing in the chat. I'm getting mixed answers in the chat. If it's, I can't say her name. If it's, I'm on that all day. Shout out to Jimmy in the chat. That's funny though, Jimmy. That's funny. He like, yo, if she on that, like, yo, I'm on it. No big deal. I think mostly, I don't want to say mostly, but I think obviously some of the fellas is going to say, nah, it ain't no big deal, and some of the women may say it is a big deal. Some women, I think, honestly, not some. I don't believe some, but I believe a lot of women would be down for it. The reason why I say that, because we have too many examples. The biggest example that we see is Chris Brown. If they're paying $1,000 for some pictures, can you imagine if Chris Brown is like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I normally don't do this, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, for another 2 stacks, I take you in the back and show you what, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're going. Like, I really believe that. I really believe that they're going to go. Not every single woman, but a lot of them is going to go. They going to be like, yeah, I want to see what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Shatia again. Nope, they don't respect their temple, which is their body. That's a fact. The temple is your body. That's a fact. I like that. I like both of the points that both of the ladies have made in the chat regarding that. I do. That's a fact. The body is a temple, but for guys, we really look at it differently, because we see it separately. It's not one and the same for us, even though the body is a temple. That's a great terminology. Wow. Damn, my 6th grade teacher used to say that to me. Your body is a temple. You know, you got to protect the dome. I don't know why that still stick with me. A lot of my homegirls do that. It's different lifestyle. People may not approve of it, but don't judge. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think people are necessarily judging for real. That's just how they deal with it, right? So, is it a big deal? To the moral aspect, it is. It is to the moral aspect. But when you talk about celebrity, they don't deal. Their foundation is not moral. That's not a moral perspective. Being a celebrity, any type of anything is not based in morality. Artists, actors, any type of form of entertainer, they have to speak on their morality to let the world know that they deal on morality, right? But also morality is not always cut and dry. It's not always one way to cut morality. And the reason why I say that, especially with acting, I think I shared with y'all some movies just recently that I found out about that they did in the late 70s. One was like in the early 2000s. And these movies showed the real version of rated R movies. Now, the real rated R that we've been seeing is not really rated R. We've been seeing the lighter side of rated R in rated R movies. And the reason why that matters is because in these particular movies, the adult acts that was going on in the movies, they was actually showing it. So they were showing women with men, like going at it like how we'll see in a rated R movie, but they were showing penetration. They were showing all of this stuff in the rated R movie. So most people will say, well, that's just acting, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They thespians, right? But it's morality based, but there's some actors that won't, and some actors that won't, that would do it. So it's not always cut and dry when it comes to morality and principle, right? So that's why I say morality, it is a big deal, but in the real world, it's really not, because if you're dealing with famous individuals, their foundation is not always based on morality. So that's why, even though your body is a temple, is not for that for most entertainers, most rappers or singers. It's not like that for most. We just seen with the Diddy trial. We have too many examples of it. So for me, it's not a big deal because what are they doing when they working on movies and working on music? When you find out in the backstory that they had to get down to get on. So if they have to get down to get on, then their situation is not based in morality. So at the end of the day, it's like, how can I be based in morality and them not being based in morality? So that, that's something to speak on it by itself. I absolutely judge it. Shout out to Balu. Kev in the building, appreciate you tapping in, bro. Has a bunch of all right, so my narcissism. Okay, shout out to Kev. I have to address this before I make my point. This is how you know you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and I'm taking this kind of personal, is because I have my brother to my left. That's my brother who's no longer here, who loved me. I have my mom and my father. There's a picture of the podcast, like how most podcasts have their pictures, sir. But I'm surrounded by people that love me, that was here. And the reason why I keep their love around me is for people that say idiotic stuff like you. So back to my point. Hey everyone, it's a strange city. No money because, okay. Malu, we'll be able to treat any person like that shows enough about what value they have or none. But see, here's the thing about that, Malu, right? It's on the buyer and not on the buyer. And what I mean by that is this, right? The buyer didn't ask that celebrity person to make that choice. The buyer didn't put them in a situation where they had to do that or where they even want to do that, right? Because we're not talking about somebody that's doing this, that's being enslaved to do this. They're doing it as a resolution for them and their personal whatever that they got going on. So if you found out that the famous person that you love the most was selling sexual favors, I can get the fact that be like, yo, I'm losing all respect. You selling sexual favors that I can't even look at your movies the same. I could definitely understand that. But for the men's side of the game, I could also understand if, and again, I'm just saying her name as an example. But if Beyonce was out here talking about, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to pay the rent. Can y'all help a sister out? I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All right? I don't know. All right? It's Beyonce. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's just an example. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Shout out to Patrick Torres of the building. Appreciate you tapping in. My brother, hit them likes, hit the 100. Hey, Ash, your Chiefs won. Come on, you know what I'm saying? I knew we was going to win tonight after we lost last week. Like, the way we lost last week was crazy. It was crazy. I don't care if we would play Philly or I don't care who we would have played. We was winning tonight. We was winning. Shout out to my Chiefs, man. My little Ashley, but whatever. When we look at the industry, there's nothing that is healthy about it. That is a fact. Well, there's two things about that. I just don't support that and would never. That's me. And again, me personally, I'm not judging how you feel. Right? But the reason why I said there's two parts of that, the industry in itself is where the deviance lies, right? But the act is not deviant. Having the skill to be an artist, to be a rapper, a singer, having the skill to be an athlete, having a skill to be any of these things, that's not deviant, right? But it's laced in deviance because people with the money control it, and they've been controlling it. So, for example, your favorite actor or favorite artist, they've been doing stuff like that in the background scene. If, I would say some, not all, obviously, but some have done it, And these are big name artists. These are big name actors. These are big name, celebrities. So I get the point that you're making, but I'm just saying, like, there's duality in the industry in itself too. That's why I say when artists is not on that, those artists, we let it be known. We like, yo, we not on this and we not on that. But if Beyonce fall on hard times and y'all can't find me, I'm just saying, like, and some, I wouldn't want nothing to happen to Jay-Z. That's all due respect. You know what I'm saying? It's Beyonce. You know what I'm just saying. Like, it's something in my eye. You know what I mean? But it's Beyonce. My Giants whip those Eagles Thursday. Shout out to Vic in the building. Appreciate you in the building as always. Y'all starting mess, man. Y'all starting mess. People need to be mindful of who they lay with. That's a fact. That is a fact. I do agree with that. People will have spirits attached to them and wonder why their life is not going right. Could have laid with all the devil. That is a fact. That's a great point. What happened? First of all, you're talking about my cousin. Second of all, I'm an upgrade, so cut it out, man. I hate when people like really be trying to like get at you and don't even try to crack jokes for real. You ain't even got your picture up. I love to crack the jokes, but damn. Woo, it'd be the same. And you could tell how old somebody is. Anytime somebody say Marcus Houston, it lets me know how old you are. So you like 50 years old talking about, yo, you look like Marcus Houston. I look like my cousin. Jimmy, Malu, I respect that too. I don't think women should judge each other on lifestyle choices. That's because they may look some way foolish. Like too, Mark Houston, my bad, bro. I'm at 22. I feel you true. I feel you true. One thing I will say about you being a Grizzlies fan, because it said true Grizzly fan. When that boy John Morant show up, the city comes out. That's all. That's something I could say positive about you, brother. My little Jimmy, I don't judge just because. Okay, Vic, ribs on people. Beyonce got it. Shit. You think so? You think so, Vic? Is that really your cousin? I think so. I've heard that ever since I was a kid. That's what I'm saying. Marcus Houston is older than me. Like, he got me at least by like 5-6 years. At least by 5 or 6 years. And I've heard that forever. So I got like a great-great-grandfather that was moving and grooving. So, and if we look like, then we gotta be family. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy is a business. The woman, honest would be. Okay, so again, I'm seeing a lot of mixed views in this. But I will be honest. Most of us as men, I'll say half. A good half is going. And it depends on who it is. It depends on who it is. I honestly believe, and again, I'm just saying this name as an example. I'm not saying it as disrespect. I'm saying it because how legendary they are. If Kelly Rowland got on the internet and was like, yo, I'm going through hard times and she just need a little care package, and she will be fulfilling favors for, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes ain't saying no to that chocolate. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But what you guys are saying in the chat is also correct as well. Y'all not saying anything that missed. I'm just saying the reality of it as well too. The reality is as well. And the men too, George Floyd, that basketball player. On Germany. What's up? Oh, we got Germany in the building. Shout out to Germany. Appreciate you tapping in. All of them ones don't choose. Understand the pain. I know them too. I approve of tracking. Ashley, that's on them 100%. That is true. Like, one of the ladies did say that that you could, like, laying with so many people, you can adopt so many energies, right? But it's different for men and women, right? And the reason why I say that is because most women, it's easy for women to say, well, I'm good on that. Because ever since you was 12, every man that you've ever met, not every man, but most of the guys that you met, ever since you was 12 years old, was trying to put something in you. So you've been dealing with that. Most men don't even know how to talk to women. Most men, like, I'm being truly for real when I say this. Most men don't know how to talk to women, especially in this new day and age where we have social media, where people holler off social media platforms, don't know how to holler at women in real time, real life. So it's not the same for men in the sense where it's like they don't get them same opportunities to say no. But do it still negate the fact that you could still be laying with a demon and the devil? Absolutely not. You could still lay with that. You could still lay with that. And the amount of partners that she had, as a guy, you taking on some of that energy too. That is a fact. That's a fact. But as men, we already know that. We already subscribe to that. Because most of us, I'm gonna speak for myself. In my early, no, in my, from my mid-teens to my mid-20s, I always viewed my male prowess and achieving my manhood by how many women that I can get with, how many women I could bag, how many women I could. So after a while, it really became like a thrill-seeking type of thing, right? Until I realized my responsibilities that I took care of and that I take care of, that's what makes me a man. Not how many women that I could get to, and that was a reversing mindset. And that took time. That wasn't like a easy thing to get to, because in my upbringing, majority of the images that I saw, that's how men achieve their manhood. I seen it in the movies, I seen it in the music videos, I seen it in my real life with, other people in my family. And that's how I always equivalated it until I became, I would say, 26. And I was like, I do a whole lot of shit that this is what makes me a man, not how many women that I could lay with. So there's there's dualities to everything, but you're spot on. You're spot on. But there's dualities to everything. B2, B, B there too. Body count lost. That's women that don't know to interact, be with decent, respect men. Can learn a little something. Barbershop. Shout out to Sobe, Vic, my dog Vic Player. Now, and again, I don't say that to brag, right? I really don't. When I speak of those teenage and them early 20 years, I don't say that to brag. I really don't. I'm actually kind of like, damn, I really did that, because there was women that I dealt with. If I seen them, I wouldn't know that's them. I wouldn't even remember their name. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that like, yo, I was really wilding. I was really wilding. And my ideology was like, yo, I just achieved my manhood again. No, bro, that's not what you did. You know what I'm saying? So that was a shift in my mindset. So I don't want this to come off like I'm bragging, because I'm not. I'm not bragging when I say that. Jimmy, no longer the woman felt the way man disrespect to be. Like, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, men, we view sex differently than women. Men could sleep with a woman and don't give two F's about her. We won't put her out if she's on fire. Like, why are you touching me? Why are you talking in my direction? I don't know. Men, we can get like that with a woman that we just slept with. We can absolutely do that. We can absolutely do that and have no qualms about it. We don't got no feelings with you. Right? And that's a whole nother subject on why that is, right? So we view it differently. And it took me a long time to view that mindset that I ended up with. And mind you, that mindset didn't come from anything in my circle, because everything in my circle was like, smash them hoes, you know. But again, and I'm not blaming anybody. I'm taking ownership for me. So, you know, it took a while to get there. Ashley, yup. And men is responsible for using a person like a bot. That again, it took me like that's why I'm keeping it me. I'm not saying all men. I'm keeping it me. I'm saying that hold on, y'all. Disrespect will not be tolerated. Like, what are you talking about, man? But I'm speaking for me. As men, it's like, and see, and here's the thing, right? Every man use their strengths to even get women. For some guys, it's the face card. For other guys, there's the personality. For other guys, there's the money. For other guys, there's the dirty Mac. And I can't stand to do that dirty Mac to get a girl. Like, yo, you mess up with him, he don't treat you right. I'll treat you like a queen if you was mine for real. Like, I can't stand a dirty Mac. You know, so you have guys that do it in different type of ways as long as they eat. So as men, they get where they fit in. And if women don't show them the face card love, a man knows when he doesn't get face card love. A man knows that in order for him to get love, he has to give a little. Hey, you would you like a drink? Hey, I'm about to get something to eat. Would you like a plate? Acts of service. There's other men again. Flex with the money. Yo, I got paper. Like, if you don't go, somebody else will. So that's why we view it differently. Shout out to Vic. I fight off Nina. Women use men too. They just don't always know it. That Jimmy, you spot on, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact. But Malu is still spot on in some of the things that she's saying. A lot of the things that she's saying. That's a fact. And I don't placate over here. That's not what I do. She's making a lot of good points. But man's nature and woman's nature is different. And that also has to be accounted for. Ash do too, especially if you have men. She is. Yeah, I mean, because again, like I don't want to regurgitate or anything like that. But at the end of the day, for most men, I'm speaking about the reality of the situation. Like, if most men seen their favorite celebrity favors for bedroom, they're going. They're going. I just broke down that some men already do it just to do it. Because that's not even just to do it, but that's their way of like, yo, this is how I stand out. Hey, how you doing? I don't want to bother you, but I got a little hotel room. I want to show you a good time. I got some bottles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to like go have a good time. I got a little something we could smoke on. And women would go. I know women that come and bless you right off just because you got some smokes for them. You know what I'm saying? I know women like that. I don't smoke, but I know women like that. I know women that would go. So that's how that be sometimes. I don't drink alcohol. Yeah, I don't drink either anymore. But shout out to y'all. I love the honesty in the chat. I really do. Cause again, everybody spoke what they spoke on. And y'all said what y'all said, and y'all meant how y'all meant. So, and there was no backpedaling, which I love, and y'all stood on what y'all felt. But there was also some ideas that was thrown to the table that people just have to be, have to stand for. Patrick Torres, Salma Hayek would be that celebrity for me. I wasn't supposed to say her name. Okay, YouTube, don't come and get me, please. Lady offered me her one on a... Yo, Vic, you stupid. You stupid. You stupid, Vic. You stupid. Khalid, favorite artist. My favorite artist. Um, my favorite artist or favorite woman artist. Are you saying artist overall or favorite woman? So my favorite artist overall is R. Kelly, hands down. Musically, nobody's effing with R. Kelly. Musically, he can R. Kelly can make a song about boogers tasting so good, and it will go crazy. R. Kelly can make a song about toe jam, and the song will go crazy. Cause the way he would identify toe jam with lovemaking. I don't know how that would be appetizing, but he can do that. He can make a song about scratching your ass, and it'll be fire. So R. Kelly for me, hands down. Now, favorite woman artist, female. Ooh, Mary J. Blige. Ain't nobody messing with Mary. When you talk about somebody said in the chat earlier, somebody got too many hits. Mary J. got that shit. You don't see none of the women coming after her in the verses. Don't do it. Don't do it. They gonna get cracked. Nobody, no female artist, y'all heard me say it, no female artist can mess with Mary J. Blige in the verses, song for song. I didn't say vocal. Now Mary J. got really good voice, and I don't want to say that in a way where it comes off disrespectful, because she's a legend. She's a legend. But people want to say, but what about Mariah or what about Whitney? Those are voices. They got great voices. And again, respectfully, neither Mariah or Whitney got Mary J. hits though. Like, it hits different. It hits different. The vibe is different. The style is different. It hits different. Hell no. Mary J. got that pain, that sister girl from the hood. Nah, Mary J. and Mariah could never. They don't got the hits. They got supreme vocals. Vocals is crazy, but songs can't see Mary, man. Can't see Mary, man. So Kelly's my favorite. R. Kelly's my favorite artist, period. And then as far as a woman is Mary J. Blige, as far as artists. Shout out to Misha Push Up in the building. Bro, you lying. I'm lying. Come on, bro. Y'all stupid. Y'all saying Lady Gaga. Come on, bro. Mary J. can't sing, bro. Bro. To who, though? She can't sing to who, though? Like, what are you talking about? Mary J. has, like, you can't say she can't sing when she has several albums displaying her vocal talent. Is she in the ilk of Mariah, Whitney? No. No, she's not. As far as the vocal. But as far as the songs, bro, I won't have a real conversation with you about Mary music and Mariah and Whitney when it comes to the music. Vocally, of course. But music in itself, come on, bro. Like, we not gonna do that. We not gonna do that. No. And see, what you're not giving Mary credit for, some of her songs were remakes. And she made those remakes hers. So for you to say she don't got no vocals, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't agree with that at all. To say that she don't got vocals when she took other top tier artists before her time and their great songs, remade it, and people hear her version, not their version. Her version. Come on, bro. Like, we not gonna do it. I ain't gonna allow no slander on Mary. I ain't gonna allow that. Who has the better vocals? Of course, of course, of course. You gotta understand, Mariah has special vocals. Whitney has them type of vocals that that's God right there. That's God. God put that on her. God put that on her. That's God right there. Whitney could have you crying over a song that you got no business even listening to, just with her vocals. But when you're talking about that bop, that dance, that move, that style, that pain, oh my God, Mary all day. Are you kidding me? Come on, bro. Mary J. wrote for Mariah. Why is that? Cause Mary got them hits, bro. Like, I ain't gonna allow no Mary slander, bro. I ain't gonna allow it. Okay, but if people understand what it's not that important that everyone. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. Hit the likes, hit the 100s. Yup, nothing is comparing with Whitney's. With Whitney's vocals. With Whitney's vocals is next level. But the songs, they cool. The songs is cool. We built like, shout out to Backwood Skulls. No, I'm built like your pops. How's your mama doing? Shout out to Malu when it comes to vocals. Yes. Poor Mary. Mary can sing, and she sounds better live. And that's the thing. I've never heard Mary live. I never heard Mary live. I would love to hear her live one day, but I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to hear Mary at her best. You know what she do with her little ditty bop and all that. I would have loved to see that myself. Shout out to Mr. Push Up. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. What's up, Pops? I'm good, man. How you doing? You took out the trash? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vic. Keith Sweat can write too. Nah, Keith Sweat could write. Keith Sweat could write. He wrote for a lot of people on the low. Sade is great live. That woman don't even look her age. She doesn't age. Neither her or Maya ages. Every time I see Maya, it looked like she dipped in the foundation of youth pool. Like, she never ages. Like, it's crazy. One of my friend's father, like, I always used to look up to this man because he was like 80-something years old and he was walking around looking like he was 40. I was like, yo, what do he eat? And my boy would tell me, like, yo, he eats grass. Like, he literally, I don't know what the actual terminology is called, but he would get like a thing of grass from the grocery store and he would chomp on that. You know what I'm saying? He said, you take out the trash. Shout out to Jerry. Facts, beautiful woman. I'm off the honey pack. Shout out to RTS. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Ash is a pop status. He's an old head. I'm passing off the old head. Either way, I'm good, man. Yo, listen, man. If I had an issue, I wouldn't have no issue telling my age. I'm 41 years old. The whole purpose is to get older. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what it classified as. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. My energy is my energy. You know what I'm saying? My energy is my energy. I got a daughter that's 22. So, you know what I'm saying? Trying to tell y'all, man. I'm good, baby. You know? So at the end of the day, y'all know I'm being real, man. Vic, 43, 28, Pops. What's you doing? Neighborhood yard. My little, It's all facts. So I don't have no reservations on telling my age, because guess what? At the end of the day, we're supposed to get older. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. Only in our culture, we like, yo, you just had a birthday. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like, yo, the whole purpose is to get older and to live gracefully and better than what you did. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. When I was in my early 20s, whole lot of drama, dog. Just drama all over the place. You know what I'm saying? All over the place. 41, Not so much drama. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. Shout out to Biggs. Fact, I'm trying to tell you, baby, them early 20s are hit different. And then, oddly enough, what's crazy, and my daughter hates this too. Like when her friends see me, they be like, "Yo, who that?" Right? And she be like, "Who? Him? I know you ain't talking about my father. Like, what you mean him? Like, that's my father. I thought that was your dude." And she be like, "No." Yeah, the airport guy said something to that effect when we was at the airport. He was like, "Yeah, you and your girl can walk through." And have you looked at her? Like, that's my kid, bro. What are you talking about? Pops, you know damn well you older than that. I'm an 84 baby, brother. And if you do the math, that is 41, sir. Yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you, my G. But if I was older than that, I would shout it off the top of the roof. I'm 49. I'm 53. Don't you think I would get more props if I would say I was older? Like, what are you talking about? Shout out to Patrick. Congrats, honestly, to be making it to your 40s. A lot of people don't. That's a fact. I lost a lot of friends on the way, man. I lost a lot of friends on the way for not properly either taking care of their body or just drama, being engulfed in the drama. Your people look like Marvin Gaye. I know, my pops, right? I know it. You know what I'm saying? My mom always had a thing for dudes that look like Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? So that's how my pops got together. You know what I'm saying? I'm being stupid. I was born in 77. I'm 48. Shout out to Kimberly in the building. You know what's crazy? My brother, he was born in 73. So if he was still alive, he would have been 52. We age graceful. I'm trying to tell you, you drink your water, you know what I'm saying? You stay away from the drama, baby. Skin gonna be tight, you heard? You know what I'm saying? Get your little skin treatment, you know. Eat a balanced meal. Stay away from the chicken and the collard greens and the Big Mac and cheese, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be all right, like old Mike Larry, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to No More Drama, you know what I'm saying? What happened to your brother? Oh, he passed away. He passed away some years ago. He passed away. He inhaled too much smoke in a fire, and he passed away like that. He passed away some time ago. First it was my brother, then it was my mom, then 2 years later, then it was my dad. So, but yeah, that's what happened. Sorry for your loss. I appreciate that. So that's why you see these pictures, because these are the people that loved on me when they was alive. And I'm a big proponent of love. You know what I'm saying? I love love because this world we live in is crazy. And for me to live in this world, I have to be crazy. That was one of the things my mother said to me before she passed. And I don't want to make it sad, but she was like, the only thing I'm worried about you, son, is that when you let the devil talk to your spirit, you listen. So that kind of lets y'all know a little bit. When I was growing up, I kind of was like a little crash out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm about positivity. So I surround positivity around me. So that's why you see those pictures. So, yeah. Shout out to y'all amazing in the chat, showing major love. Moving on to our next hot topic. Still got another hot topic. College football picks is in. College football picks is in. All right. So for this week, college football pick, I called number 24 South Florida against North Texas. I said South Florida was going to win. They won 63-36. And mind y'all, when pick six come out every Wednesday, because we on every Wednesday, every Thursday again at 10:30, I do the new My Pick Six. Y'all could use some of these picks for your own parlays or just straight out money lines. So I'm just saying, I know a lot about, college football in the NFL. Next game I called was number 6 Alabama versus number 14 Missouri. I said Alabama would win. They did. I said it would be a tough game. It could have went either way, but I still went with Alabama. They won 27-24. Next game I called was number 1 Ohio versus number 17 Illinois. Another game I said would be a very difficult game, and it could possibly be upset alert. But I went with Ohio. They won 34-16. Next game I called, number 7 Indiana versus number 3 Oregon. I said Oregon will win this game, even though I think Indiana would play good. But I think Oregon has top level talent that was just going to overshadow Indiana. I was wrong. Indiana won 30-20. It was a tight game. But Indiana, man, they showing me a lot. And they probably going to run the table at this point if they could beat a team in the caliber of Oregon at Oregon. So that says a lot. Next game I called was Washington State versus number 4, Ole Miss. I said Ole Miss will win this game, but I also said if Ole Miss lost, that lets us know that Ole Miss is a pretender. Because Washington State is not a powerhouse, but they are a team you have to play against. You have to do your best. If you don't do your best, they will bust your ass. But Ole Miss ended up getting the win. Field goal, 24-21. They could have lost that game, and I said that before that, but again, I went with Ole Miss. Last game I called for the college football, my pick 6, was South Carolina versus number 11, LSU. I went with LSU. You playing at Death Valley, and people don't win in Death Valley. You know what I'm saying? But South Carolina does have the build to beat them. But I still went with LSU. LSU won 20-11. So my pick 6 for college football went 5-1 this week. So again, if you're looking for a game to complete your parlay or money line, man, I got some good picks, man. You know what I'm saying? And these games are not easy to call. Because in anybody know college football, anybody that knows this, you got very enthusiastic young adults. So what I mean by that, a team literally could be winning 31-0 by half. By the end of the game, that same team that was losing 31-0 could come back and win 34-31. It's really that crazy in college football. Momentum is everything in college football. That's why I love the college football games, because when they do the momentum thing, it really, you know what I'm saying? It's a determining factor. So I love that. All right, so my pick 6 for the NFL. I do the pick 6 for the NFL as well, for those NFL lovers out there. So the first game I called was the Broncos versus the Jets. I went with the Broncos, but it was a recipe for an upset, because anytime those teams play out of the country, most teams that are favored to win always lose. Still went with the Broncos, but the Jets almost won. The Broncos won 13-11. Next game I called was the Cowboys versus the Panthers. I was very scared of this game because Cowboys will show you one thing one week and show you another thing next week. I still went with the Cowboys, and they lost to the damn Panthers. Like, if anybody know football, the Panthers is not a team a playoff caliber team should be losing to. But the Cowboys. So they lost that game, 30-27. Next game I called Patriots versus the Saints. I went with the Patriots. I thought it would be a good game. The Saints just beat the Giants last week. But I thought the Patriots would still dominate this game, and they did. They won 35-19. Next game I called Colts versus the Cardinals. I went with the Colts. The Cardinals is probably, they have a lot of talent, but they're the most undisciplined team there is in the NFL. The most undisciplined team in the NFL. And they ended up losing, like how I predicted, 31-27. Next game I called was the Bengals versus Packers. I said the Packers would win. They did, 27-18. They got Joe Flacco over there. It didn't make any difference. They still got stomped. And the last game I called was the Lions versus the Chiefs. Who y'all think I went with? You know what I'm saying? And we won that. I don't remember the end of score. The last time I checked up on the game, it was 27-17. And the end of score of that game was, I'm looking it up right now. But I know we won though. 30-17. And that was my pick 6 for the NFL. So I went 5-1 for the NFL. So I went 5-1 for college and 5-1 for the NFL. So again, if you're looking to complete your parlay or you're just looking for a money line, yo, I got some good picks, man. I know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? So, and then it was a couple weeks, I went all 6-0. The worst week I've had was a 3-3 with the NFL, and that was like a week ago. It was some teams that had no business losing, y'all. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like my Chiefs, we lost last week to the Jacks. We had no business losing that game. How do a dude go back to pass, fall on his ass, gets up and run for a damn touchdown, ain't nobody there? The Chiefs, we don't let that happen. Where's the discipline, Andy? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I knew we was gonna win tonight. But yeah, so my picks do hit. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Moving on to my next segment, my Keep the Lie Live segment. My Keep the Lie Live for this episode is: if you work hard enough, you can achieve the American dream. If you work hard enough, you can achieve the American dream. Hold on, let me go back up. My bad, y'all, because I'm seeing a whole lot of chats that I didn't get to. Can the brothers get a rap? Rand, Carter, hope many times. Cobb, sorry, but it was support Diddy so far. Okay, good. Clock out. Shout out to Vic in the building. Shout out to Vic. You went 5-1. That's a fact. Tell that Diddy saying shit like, stay positive, don't work anymore. Good night, Vic. Stay HIV negative. Okay. Jets suck. Yeah, Jets is terrible. I know all the atmospheric pressure, private. Jet sucks. Mostly if you're afraid of dig. American, basketball American, not football American. Purpose. True, my dad paid for schooling. That's dope. Paralegal in the building. Stop playing. Get that money on. You know what I'm saying? That money on. So I had to hit that chat real quick. All right, so my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is: if you work hard enough, you can achieve the American dream. We've been hearing that forever and a day. If you work hard enough, you work hard enough, you work hard enough, you work hard enough, you can achieve the American dream. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I've seen people a generation ahead of me, eras ahead of me, that worked, and worked. And at the end of the day, they was able to be a little bit comfortable. They couldn't take off like that. When kids was sick and stuff like that, they still had to go to work. It's not enough in this country to work hard. You have to prepare for success. Working hard is not end all be all in this country. I knew 2 people that had their master's degree and struggled for 20 years before they ever made any type of real money. These people over here, both my parents, had their master's degree at 21, no, at 25, 24, 25, 21, 24. Both of them at 24, master's degree. And they struggled all my childhood, all my brother's childhood. It wasn't until I got out the house, until I went to basically in adulthood. My brother is 11 years older than me. So the struggle was real for people that had masters. They had their masters back in the 80s. Yeah, back in the 80s. Struggle. But they not exclusive to that. They not the only people. I've seen people work to the bone. But the fact that they didn't prepare, and what I mean by didn't prepare, and I'm not talking about my parents, I'm talking about all people, in a sense of working hard is enough. You have to prepare for success. And what that means is sometimes it's in the ilk of making the right connection. That's what my father used to preach to me about, having the right connections, because he was in a fraternity. And the reason why he joined the fraternity, because he felt like at that time, he felt like when he gets into the real world, he needed allies, other professionals that's a part of his fraternity. Oh, that's a good bro. He know what he doing. He got skill. He has education. Let's bring him on over here. We know what he's about. We know his family. We know his upbringing. And it didn't always pan. But connections matter. timing matters. Understanding the person who's running the company and understanding the need. If you work for a company and you understand what's the need of the company, it's like, what do you hate doing the most? Because whatever you hate doing the most as a company, I do that well. I could take that off your plate. And because I could take that off your plate, I become an asset. So working hard is not the end all be all in being a success. You have to prepare. You have to give yourself some experience. You have to give yourself some education. And all of these things encompass in one. And you have to have the personality enough to pull off whatever that you're doing. And I'm not saying you have to be Mr. Personality or Mrs. Personality in everything that you're doing. In that particular job, you need enough. You don't need overly and you don't need under. You need enough so people could believe the authenticity on what you do, and it garners more business. And that's the true power of being successful. It's all in one. It's not one thing. It's not just working hard. Because working hard had a lot of people losing their job. And once they worked hard, they used them all up. And they send them home and they don't have nothing left. They don't have nothing to show for it. They was able to pay their bills along the way, but there's no real retirement. Because now the retirement is less than what the cost of living would be. So working hard is not end all, be all to having a great life and achieving the American dream. You have to have it all. You have to be motivated. You have to have enough personality. You have to prepare yourself by having the right education. Not just a education, the right education, skill, know-how. You also have to develop some sort of experience. That used to be one thing that you really used to grind my gears when I was like 17, 18. And I would, go on these job interviews and I'll be like, yo, I got this going on, that going on for myself. And they're like, but what's your experience? It's like, asshole, I'm 18. Like, what are you talking about? I'm 18. Oh, you don't got an experience. I'm 18. And I used to grind my gears. But throughout the years, you have to understand when to use your power. So at the end of the day, working hard is just not enough. You have to learn how to use all your gifts to be successful. And that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Let me shout out some of those, the chat, because y'all was going in on the chat as well. Jimmy, even for those that's aren't even successful people. I agree with you, Malu. People need a lot of healing. With Jimmy, I didn't see what Jimmy said though. But people need a lot of healing. What Jimmy said, the American dream also supposed to include life without discrimination in any kind, but that ain't true for a lot of successful people. I agree. I agree. I thought it was. Shout out to Donald. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Any new ideas to create and change the better for the betterment of all? Yes. Shout out to Ive in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Malo, you ain't ever lied. Networking is very important. Yes. IV, man, appreciate you tapping in. Have a good night, though. We're going to say good night. We're going to bid you adieu. We don't do the trolls here. We just don't have people in here moving like that. That's just crazy. Most people in this country live paycheck to paycheck. American dream is not reality for most. That is a fact. But there's a reason why most people live paycheck to paycheck. And I don't want it to take it on to a different conversation for real. But most people live a paycheck to paycheck because we value vanity. And because we value vanity is why, early in the podcast, I talked about fly bums where people want to look like they have that shit on. They want to look like important. They want to look like they have something going on for themselves, but they don't have anything outside on what they have on their body. This is the most immediate thing to let them know that life is going to be all right. This is the only thing that they could control, the piece of clothing or jewelry that they could control to make them feel that this money is showing for something. Because it's nothing like working hard and not feeling like you don't have nothing to show for it, right? And because most people in this country value vanity, they don't even understand something to show for is having money in the bank, is being able to have options because you have cash. And when most people realize that money is supposed to make more money, then that's when we're not going to see people live paycheck to paycheck. That's the difference between not being rich. You don't have to be rich, but not living paycheck to paycheck. People live paycheck to paycheck because we value vanity way too high. We value it way too high. So, but you're still spot on when you say that, though. You still, it only boosts your point. It boosts your point. Shout out to Anything Goes. What is vanity? If that's a serious question, if you're really asking the serious question, I'm gonna indulge and entertain it. But vanity is basically anything that mirrors you looking good. So you're doing something to appear opposed to being. So being successful and appearing successful, that's different, right? So that's the vanity portion. Vanity is looking the part. But looking the part is cool, but you have to at least maintain your responsibilities outside of it. Because it's never fake it to make it, right? It's always sustain, take care of your responsibilities. I'm from the culture. We from the culture. So we always gonna find always gonna find the space to look good, right? That's just in us to look good. If you look at any of these old movies and back to any time period you could think of, when they show us in history, we always got that shit on. You know what I'm saying? We always stepping out, right? But it's hard to step out when everything around you is falling off, right? And I spoke on fly bums previously, where people are fly bums again when they look the part, right? They look expensive, but they can't take care of their bills. Why is that? Because of the vanity instead of taking care of the bills. So, have a good night, my brother. Appreciate you, Patrick. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Always feeling blessed when you tap in. One of our badge holders, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Nadia. Appreciate the compliment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate the compliment. Thank you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. So that's my keep the lot alive. Again, working hard enough is enough to achieve the American dream, and that's not factual. You have to have it all. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Have the mindset. Be positive. I've never seen great things happen for somebody in abundance when they constantly thinking negative. Constantly. I always have a negative energy, negative being. They give out negativity. I don't see their blessings overtaking them. But if you're positive and you prepare yourself, you can achieve the American dream, or your version of the American dream. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. If this is your first time tapping in, this is the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm on every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30. Also, hit the likes, hit the 100s. We just went over episode 200. This is episode 202. Big milestone. And a lot of other podcasts can say they got 200 episodes. So I'm grateful and thankful that I'm able to do that. And it's all due to y'all with the growth of the show. It keeps growing show by show. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And on top of that, YouTube don't even be showing my real numbers in the chat. Like, that kind of get me tight. Because as soon as I go off, they show me my real numbers. But it's all good because it's all love in the chat, and y'all engaging means the world to me because we have these conversations. We talk about everything here: sports, entertainment, social commentary, things that's going on the internet, and we do it in a very fun, respectful way. And we also can be serious, but we always keep that good energy here. Also, I want to thank some of the sponsors of the podcast: Button Snaps and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of the podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, on the road to 20,000 subs. 20,000 subs. We a little over 11,000 subs. So again, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Have over 500 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel. So you just never know when I'm gonna pop up. So again, hit that all notification bell or tap into the membership portion of the page. Different memberships do get different access, so make sure you tap in and take advantage of that. We also have merchandise as well. You get 10% off on all merchandise if you use the promo code BrothersPod. Again, the promo code BrothersPod at 44.com. So make sure you tap in. And for those who've been purchasing, thank you, and I appreciate the purchases thus far. Thank you. Also, gonna have some new announcements in the upcoming episodes about the new comic strip that I've been working on. It's absolutely fire. I can't wait for y'all to see this. And this is a new lane for me, but this is something I've always wanted to do, is adding on to everything else I got going on. New album, working on a new album is fire. So far, I'm like 6 songs in. Every song is, I'm telling you, it's fire. Got the title for the album. It's fire. I can't wait to announce that. It's fire. So again, I want to thank y'all genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for tuning and tapping in. Again, I'm on every Thursday and every Sunday and every Wednesday. Every Sunday and every Wednesday. And again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. And if you don't know, I'm Ashley Lovechild. And at the end of the day, from me to you, it's love. And I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm out.